Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Libra. If Libra is your solar, lunar, ascendant/rising sign, then this is a message for you. Okay, let's get started. Right. Let's see what these tea leaves have to say tonight. And so our card for the evening is the 8 of Cups. This has to do with indolence. Okay, so you might be asking, what is indolence? What does that really, what does that have to do with? So this is kind of like when you have had some success, your life is going pretty well, you have it kind of set up how you just kind of flourish, or you're getting along fine, and you kind of just abandon your success. Something distracts you, something comes up, you just decide, I don't like doing this anymore, right? This could be kind of pleasure seeking, looking for happiness, and you find it, but it's short-lived. Temporary success, being pretty, short-sighted about things, not really thinking about the long term, okay? So immediately what stands out to me is we have this large, it looks just like a snail. Okay, we have the body right here and we have the head here. It almost kind of looks like a snail and a bunny, but I'm gonna go with snail. Maybe kind of a cute snail. So the snail is all about slowing your roll, going with intention, just kind of, taking your time, not rushing. I feel like with this card, this is maybe related to, maybe succumbing to some old behaviors. Okay. I almost get a sense that there was some kind of large shift that happened. This could have been some kind of breakup, a divorce, a health crisis, somebody moving out of the house, you move out of the house, you quit your job, you're fired, laid off, whatever. Something that was difficult for you. So many things. Those are just some examples, but it wasn't amicable, I guess. Is that how you say it? And so I think you felt kind of hurt. Obviously. It was almost maybe a little bit traumatic. Okay. Now, I feel like this is in the past. This is something that has happened a while ago. And where this kind of sense of, well, like we said, pleasure seeking, looking for happiness, but it's short-lived. I think that you're getting back on your feet. You're trying to figure it out, and you're doing a good job. You're very smart, capable. You're gonna get there. But in the meantime, there's, with this hurt, there comes maybe some loneliness. Maybe a sense of reverting back to some, hello, Pudgy. Say hello and let's go. Hello. Oh, buddy. Okay. Thank you for the hello. Now let's get going. Okay. Go to your bed. Go on. Okay, so where was I? kind of reverting back to some old behaviors, coping mechanisms, maybe making some decisions that are a little selfish, you know, not well thought out, impulsive. Okay, so this is where this, slow it down a little bit. You know, be mindful. You have worked hard to get your life where it's at. You've been through a lot. Okay, you've done a lot of living. You know how things go. You've seen other people probably destroy their lives over silly things. Don't be one of those people. Let's see. And now this one, let's see. This one kind of reminds me of like somebody wearing a cape and there's a bird kind of flying behind them. And I feel like they're almost reaching out to this flower here. Okay, so what does that mean? I feel like you have to kind of be your own hero. You know, you have to tend to your own gardens. And this is in that spiritual zone on the rim there. So I really think that, especially if this is like a breakup or a divorce, so hard to readapt to being maybe on your own, in a new relationship, possibly, you know, co-parenting maybe, or you have family events coming up, or, you know, whatever. And you have to see this person. You want to have, you know, nothing to do with them, or maybe you'd like for it to be friendly. At least, you know, cordial. Whatever it is. I think it stresses you. I think that sometimes you maybe go out and you do things that you probably wouldn't do under normal circumstances. I think that, you know, during these periods of time, yeah, we definitely, there's almost just, there can be a loneliness, even if you're not alone, a sense of, you're not desperate, but there's like a desperation to just figure out how to make things feel normal again. And sometimes we, you know, just do things that are silly, or, you know, try to be around too many people, go dating too fast, you know, get really angry, say you lost your job, you know, just, you know, going out of your mind, trying to figure out how you're going to, you know, show that they were wrong, right? And that's okay, of course. If something happened that was wrong in your firing, it is your right to do something about that, right? Sue or whatever. I can't give any advice. I don't know. You know, I'm not a professional. But when we become obsessed with something or fixated, it's all consuming. You know, we're living in the illusion, or delusion. It could be a delusion too. But we're living in an illusion. Really trying to find some sense of power, control over a life that is right now feeling pretty chaotic. Okay. So you have to kind of be your own hero sometimes. Sometimes you have to look to those spiritual places, that interior landscape. Go back to, think back. maybe when you were a child. Go back to where you were happy, where you could get lost in doing something. When I talk about this, I like to think, or I like to use the example of thinking back and you remember, oh, I loved to like lay on the floor in front of the television. I had my, pad of paper, my favorite pens. I love to draw, color, whatever it was that you were doing. And so when you remember back to that, like you did it maybe for years. You just loved it. You loved making pictures for your family, for your friends. You were pretty good at it. And so when we come into these places in our life where we feel directionless, listless, disenfranchised, where do we go next, right? We go to a place where there's kind of an anchor there. Where there was something that was of awe, of wonder. And then we figure out how to apply that to our life now. So maybe you start making some kind of art. Start drawing again. Go out to the park. Sketch. Color. Whatever. Find the thing that was for you. It could have been, maybe you liked playing with Barbies, G.I. Joes, trucks. For me, it was going out playing with, I loved for some reason making like rivers and dams, and I spent a lot of time by myself in the woods. I like to talk to trees. I did. I liked to feel things, the texture of things. I like to collect rocks. As you know, I still collect rocks because there's that anchor there. That place where I feel so happy digging through the dirt, looking at different things. Sticks and twigs and rocks and bugs and all that. I love having a child that is interested in it. So, I have somebody to explore with. It's been one of the great pleasures of my life. And so I think, this is a good time. Go and water those spiritual gardens. Do the things that make you feel in that flow state, in that meditative in between, in the place where it doesn't feel like you're spending, 2 hours doing something. It's just, you're so into it. It doesn't have to be complicated. And yeah, this might not fix everything, right? But, and I see this face and I see, let's see, from this angle, this face right here. Okay, and they both look, not smiling ear to ear, but not sad. There's no crying, no sense of anxiety. There's a contentment. And when we allow ourselves to enter these spaces, to indulge in these places in our life, to do something that is out of the norm. Maybe it becomes part of your normal routine. That would be wonderful. But just unashamedly, no guilt, just give it to yourself. This will be a place where you work out emotions, blockages, how you're going to do things. I think about all kinds of stuff when I'm, you know, out being in the garden or in the dirt. And my other thing is the learning. I know you've probably heard, if you've heard any of my other readings, you know I talk a lot about having projects, right? Staying busy, learning something, maybe every day learning something. Even if it's just like one fact or a new skill or, you know, whatever, how to do something. It's important. It builds up our confidence. It gives us purpose. It's important to continue to use our brains as much as we can. And in these places, while we're doing these things, of course, we focus on them. But this is where we work out that stuff. Really. And you let go of a lot of things, too. Not just because we're staying busy. I'm not one of those people that are like, you know, grind until you can't, you know, you can't stand up anymore. No. I think you should definitely also be sleeping well, resting, leisuring, you know, all those things too. But staying busy to some degree, and things that aren't always like, you know, am I making money doing this? Am I going to be able to pay my bills if I do this or not? We need some supplemental things that are, you know, just for us, if you can find the time. If you can make a little money too, great. I mean, if you're doing what you love, you've hacked life somehow, right? But I think this place of that's where we're aiming. Being okay with things. As we cultivate the next chapter. As we try to get further and further away from whatever it was that happened before that was so painful. We keep moving forward. We keep marching along. But we take care of ourselves. I mean, ultimately, nobody else is ever going to care as much about our lives, our well-being as we do. And that's just the truth. So you have to remember yourself. You have to try to dig yourself out of those places of misery, heartbreak, desperation, you know, disassociation, being a little bit reckless. You know, you have to at some point try to dig yourself out of that. It's hard. And it's hard, you know. I say this as somebody who still struggles constantly. As, you know, some of you know, I'm in recovery. And every day, many times a day, I'm thinking about, you know, am I getting stuck in a loop of stinky thinking? Or as they like to call it, stinking thinking? Am I doing things impulsively because it feels good right now? Is this temporary? You know, everything's temporary ultimately, right? But is this temporary? Like, it's gonna feel good right now and it's gonna just destroy everything else? Because I know what it's like to continually do that for years even. And it's not good. So keep it simple. And I know I'm using all these cliches. I really am. And I'm sorry. But it's real, you know, I do spend a lot of time thinking about this stuff. And these cliches, they've helped me. So I'm sorry if you're also in recovery, you know, you're like, okay, this lady, she's she's had the Kool-Aid a little bit. Okay, so we have an 8 here. And, you know, it's a number 8. But it's also the infinity. All right. And we have a beautiful bird right here sitting on some kind of something, maybe a plant, and looking like it's kind of in a serene, thoughtful place, contemplative. Beneath this, we have a beautiful vine growing, right? And this is it. Life goes on forever and ever and ever, really. Maybe not our consciousness in this particular body on this particular timeline, but things go on forever. And if you think about it, in any one given moment, you are in the center of it. It ripples out into infinity. We can't even conceive what that really means. But what it means to me is that there are so many chances. You have so many chances to do something else, to be something else, to go where you want to go, to make some mistakes and make some more mistakes and find a place that you want to be. Maybe somebody you want to be with. Maybe not. Maybe just yourself. Maybe a cat. I will advocate for the cats. You know, whatever it is. Don't give up on doing good for yourself, doing well for yourself, treating yourself like the sacred, holy, beautiful, divine, friggin' miracle that you are. And we have as I'm looking at this, we have the beautiful goddess figure. It looks like one of the arcane, almost reminds me of a Sybil figure, but one of the primordial goddesses, right? She looks like she has her tools. Her little hammer, maybe her little, I don't know, what is that? A flame, maybe? So you're gonna build, man. You're gonna build, you're gonna build. And then maybe you're gonna destroy some of it. Build and destroy, build and destroy. Refining. It's a refinement process. It's a tempering in the furnace. All right, let's see what we have here. Just a singular thing. And I think that, you know, ultimately that's when we have these anxieties, when things happen in our lives that feel so overwhelming, they loom over our existence. We turn away from that just for a little bit. Find that one thing that's gonna just take you in, captivate you, right? It doesn't have to be complex. For me, when I have my worst days, I'm exhausted, I'm feeling, you know, depressed, anxiety, I'm having, you know, brain issues. I start to lose a lot of my words, stumbling over how I speak. It just, you know, it happens. And it's, you know, related to like PTSD and maybe ADHD on some level. I don't know. But I watch movies that make me feel transported, something that brings me out of myself. I listen to music. I go outside. I don't take naps because I have a toddler. I would though. I used to before I had a kiddo. But, you know, you find the thing. And like we talked about, find something that was important to you when you were young. Something you love to do. And so, I'm going to thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. If you'd be so kind as to like the video, it helps the channel get into the algorithm. And as you know, the algorithm kind of decides everything, right? And thankfully, we've been doing pretty good. We just hit 14K, so yay to all of us. And I say all of us as in this community here at the channel. It couldn't be anything without all of you. So if you haven't subscribed, please think about doing that. Become part of our community here. Hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. You can watch, aside from maybe, you know, if this is your solar placement, you can watch your lunar, ascendant / rising. I know people love to watch their Venus, and a lot of people cross watch as well. Other than that, if you want to leave a comment, I read all of them. And something I like to point out is that some of you are so generous to share your stories here, to talk about the things you've been through, the things that you love, you know, little details about your life. And something that I find so beautiful, not only in the sharing, I appreciate that so much, but something I find very beautiful is people's willingness to support one another. You are so sweet to each other. I see it. I see you commenting on each other's posts, relating to one another, praying for each other, uplifting each other, having kind words and advice for one another. It truly is so, it's very special, in my opinion. These little acts of kindness are everything. They are the thing that keeps our world going. So I want to thank all of you for doing that. It really, I mean, you know, the comments really keep me going. They make me want to do these readings, but then seeing this other level too of the love you all have for one another, it just, you know, I can't say enough about how meaningful it is to me. So anyways, I want to thank you again, and we will talk in just a few days. Thank you.